guys! Today I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite series. I have already read the series, I'm just rereading it before Empire of Storms comes out, so we're going to be doing book talks for the whole thing. And that series is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I love the royal atmosphere. I think it's very fair to say that I'm obsessed with royal everything. Castles and princes and princesses and assassins, apparently. So the synopsis of this book is that Celaena Saradothien is an assassin, and there's a thing called the King's Champion, and there's a big competition, and it's a bunch of criminals and assassins that just kind of compete to see who is going to be the King's Champion and does all of his dirty work. And so Celaena Saradothien is taken by the Crown Prince to be his champion, and then she competes to see if she's going to win the championship. This is going to be a completely spoiler-filled review, so if you have not read the book, please go read it, because I mention it in every single one of my videos, and you should read it. You just should. Right off the bat, I really liked how sarcastic Celaena was. She was a bit vain, a little bit cocky, but I don't think it's her fault, if that makes sense. Like, I think that the way she was raised in an Assassin's Keep has a lot to do with how vain she is. She's basically been praised as, like, the greatest assassin of all time in the world, blah, 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 and she doesn't really know any other way to think, so I think it has a lot to do with how other people have perceived her and treated her, with how she thinks of herself. The second thing that I wrote down is that I like the difference that you can see between the prince and the captain of the guard. So the prince is Dorian, and then the captain of the guard is Chaol. I wrote down page 49 Dorian. So in this entire book, Dorian was kind of just there for me. Like, I mean, I didn't love him, I didn't hate him, he was just there. But then, on page 49, there was a slight instance where he was better. Oh, page 49 is where his dad slapped him. I hate the king, by the way. When Celaena heard of the library, and there was an audible gasp, same. Like, I relate to that so much, and she loves chocolate and cake, and I relate to Celaena. Not a ton, but a little bit. I do like, however, that Celaena is scared of the king. I know that's a bit weird, because we don't want our characters to be scared of people, but she just seemed too invincible, and I liked that she had a valued fear. We're not necessarily ever told why she has that fear. We're just told that she does, and I like that because it made her seem more real. I'm all about characters seeming real, if you haven't caught on by now. And then I was annoyed with Celaena again because during the championship, she wanted to, like, show off, and she wanted Brullo, who was the weapons master and the one training all the champions, to be, like, proud of her and, like, praise her, and he was praising Cain, and she was all mad. She was like, why do I have to hide my skills if you're just gonna let Cain go off and show all of his skills? And I'm like, how can you not see Chaol's plan? Because Chaol's plan the entire time was to have her, like, keeping in the middle, not the very bottom, but not the middle, because if you're in the very bottom, you're out, and you don't want that, and not the very top, because then everybody's gonna target you. And I feel like an assassin would have enough brain power to consider that. But once again, her vanity just, like, got in the way, and she just really wanted to be number one, and maybe she has attention issues. Maybe she's just looking for attention. I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Celaena, but she's just a tad bit annoying at some points. So Nehemia comes in, and she's this princess from Elwi. I'm gonna pronounce that wrong. But she comes in, and she's literally described in the book as a force to be reckoned with, and from that moment on, I was Nehemia all the way. Paltane is just stereotypical to me. I don't know why she's there. Like, I feel like Sarah J. Maas just needed another character, maybe? I don't know. She's just there. I don't get her purpose, and all I can keep thinking when I picture her is Adelaine Kane from Reign. Chaol and Dorian are my bro TP. Forever and always. Dorian's so cute. When he said, Dorian grinned and put an arm around the captain's shoulders. With you looking into it, I'm sure it'll be solved tomorrow. Bro TP. So, the thing that he wants to be solved is Chaol is the captain of the guard, so he is in charge of keeping the king safe and keeping the entire, like, royal kingdom safe, and there have been random champions just kind of being murdered in the middle of the castle, and, like, their entrails are everywhere, and their brains are taken out, and it's just very gruesome, and they don't know why or what's doing it or who's doing it. So, just Dorian and Kale, bro TP, support your bro TPs. There was one line in the book from Celaena's point of view, and it said, how had she gone from the most feared assassin in Endovir to this sappy mess? And I'm like, same, honestly. How did you? Because there's nothing wrong with, like, her being obsessed with boys, or chocolate, or candy, or dresses, and makeup, and looking pretty. Because at first I was annoyed by that, and then I was like, hey, she's only 18, give her a break. Like, she's allowed to be into super girly things and still be a kick-butt assassin. Let her live, Lindsay. And I was like, alright, we're good. But at the same time, what? It doesn't fit character. And I don't know, okay, it's not my right to judge if it fits character or not, because it's only the first book, and I don't know anything. But still, I'm telling you, just tiny bits annoyed me. Overall, I loved her. Tiny bits annoyed me, but that's the definition of love. Oh. I love that Celaena snapped at Dorian, because they're both very cocky, and just two cocky characters together having a conversation is incredible. And she wasn't completely like, oh, your highness, I'm forever at your mercy. Like, she's like, you're a human being, you're annoying me, and I'm gonna talk to you like you're annoying me, which was great. My voice was just annoying me. Okay, so when I was reading the part where there was a door, and there was, like, a secret passageway, and there was, like, a secret tunnel underneath the castle behind her tapestry, whatever that was, the blanket hanging on the wall, I was not comfortable. Not in a bad way. I'm just a wimp, and so when I was reading all about, like, hidden underground tunnels, and tombs, and random sounds coming from underground tunnels, I don't know, I'm a wimp, so it kind of scared me, but it's also like a really good reason to keep reading because you want to know what's happening. So this book did feel kind of slow in the middle, but once you get, the book felt slow in the beginning, but once you got to the middle, like, things started happening, and I can't talk anymore, but you get the point. You get what I'm saying. Also, there's, like, another world, and there's, like, passages to this world, and there used to be magic and there's not anymore, and, like, the king outlawed it, and I don't know of his reason for outlawing it other than it's more powerful than him, and somebody could have overthrown him that had magic, which actually is a pretty good reason if you're trying to be like an evil overlord and whatever. But still, I want the magic back, because books with magic is like A+. My issue with Cain being the person that's killing everyone is that it's just too obvious. Like, he is this big burly guy, and he's evil and mean and rude and like #1 in the championship, and I don't think it's him because it's too obvious. And Duke Parrington is like the king's #1 like buddy. They're like good old evil friends together. There was this one scene where everyone was having dinner, and Kale said that Duke Parrington's eyes went like all black, like a demon, and that Caltaine was looking directly at him and had no reaction. And he was like, oh, well, if she doesn't have a reaction, then it's probably not a big deal. I probably just imagined it. And I'm like, okay, but what if she's not having a reaction because it's already happened before? Like, they're together all the time. Kale, get with the program. Weird things are going on. Then again, Celaena hasn't told him about the underground tunnels and, like, a dead queen talking to her through a spirit from another world. Okay, so there was one competition, and the difficulty was putting cups in order of most poisonous to least poisonous, and then there was this other assassin that had been trained in poisons, and he helped her get the right answers because the dead Queen Elena had told her that their answer is to the right, and he was on her right, and so she cheated. And Kale and Dorian were looking directly at her, like there's no way that they didn't see her cheat, and it's never mentioned again. And so I don't know if Kale just didn't care, or if he just like rolled with it. Or if he did care and he just didn't say anything because he wanted Dorian to win, and he didn't want Celaena like out and gone because he kind of likes her. Everyone kind of likes her. People were getting murdered, and she's just like looking out a window, and then Cain runs up and is choking, and then runs away. And the guards don't react at all. Why was he choking? What was he choking on? How can he run if he's choking? I really liked that they mentioned periods in this book. Is that weird? Because I always read fantasy books, and I'm like, do demigods not have periods? Do fae not have periods? Do characters from the Lunar Chronicles, or Red Queen, or Six of Crows not have periods? Or the Mortal Instruments. Forgot that one. How could I forget that one? I don't get it. Do you not, like, you're a girl around the age of puberty. How do you not have periods? Anyways, okay, that's the end of my rant, but I just really liked that they involved it and that she threw up, and Kale, who was like, once again, this big, like, I'm a man kind of man, and he was like, oh my goodness, periods, gotta run. And then Dorian came in and he was like, so I heard your incident. Here I am. They kissed. Dorian and Celaena kissed. I know that Kale and Celaena aren't allowed to kiss because he's like her leader or whatever, but still, Dorian and Celaena kissed. And I'm like, no. Part of me is like, oh, that's so cute. And the other part of me is like, stop. No, you're supposed to be with Kale. Sarah J. Maas is ruining my life with hot boys. Oh, I completely forgot to mention Nox. Okay, so Nox is a character throughout the entire book, and he is another champion. And him and Celaena are kind of allies throughout the entire championship. He seems really cool, and then Celaena saves him, and yep. Oh, and this entire time, I'm forgetting so many things. This entire time, everyone thinks she's Lillian Gordana, I believe is the pronunciation, who is just like a lady from another country, and she's just kind of prancing around the kingdom because no one that's not involved in the championship knows that it's going on. So nobody knows that she's Celaena Saradathian. Cain finds out, and then that means Duke Parrington knows, and the king knows, and so only like 5 people know, and so she just like tells Nox. I mean, she doesn't tell him. She gives him clues, and then he figures it out, but it's like so many clues that she practically told him. But she told him to get out of the castle because bad things were happening, and he ran away. So, that's the end of that one. Back to the final battle scene, I literally just wrote you Grossgrave. That's all I got. I was very upset with the fact that Caltaine and Duke Parrington wanted to poison Celaena because, like, I'm fine with someone losing as long as they were allowed to give it their all, and I really hate cheating with a passion. Like, in every sense of the term. I can't stand cheating. And, I didn't like that Caltaine and Duke Parrington were like, hey, let me just go on and poison her. Like, if you're gonna kill her, fine. But, like, let her battle first. I think that it would have been better, or more fair, to, like, let her lose the competition and then kill her. Like, just let her battle completely. Fully, with all of her skills. So it turns out Cain was the one that was killing all of the champions, but only because he was summoning this, like, evil demon called a Ritterak, and it was, like, going around killing everyone, and he was gaining strength from all of the champions that it killed. And then when Celaena takes the wine and she gets all of the poisons from it, she starts seeing into another world, and I'm like, this is the world that Elena was talking about. This is some creepy stuff right here. And he had all of these, like, black demons flying around him. And then at the very end of the book, we're going to skip ahead real quick, Caltaine got thrown into dungeons, we'll get to why later, and she was talking about, like, flapping wings that she kept hearing, and now it was driving her insane, and she was having massive headaches. And I don't know, it was just all very crazy. It was a crazy day in the life of Celaena Saradathian. I'm annoyed by annoying villains. Does that make sense? Like, there's some villains I love to hate, and even some that I'm like, wow, that's interesting. I like seeing from your point of view. We're not going to go with your point of view, but it's still interesting seeing from it. And then there's just villains that are annoying. And you're like, I don't even care anymore. Like, you're just irritating. And that is Duke Parrington. Because Duke Parrington threw Caltaine under the bus. Because Nehemia, like, drew some word marks in the sky. Which, by the way, she also knows all about word marks, and so does her entire family. And she saved Celaena by summoning Elena, who came down and took the poisons out of Celaena's body, and then Celaena went off and, like, fought Cain and won. And I don't know. He threw her under the bus. And I'm like, man, if you're gonna be bad, just, like, be bad. Fully commit. I guess that was him fully committing, because that was a further bad thing for him to do. Anyways, I didn't mind the fact that Caltaine was arrested, but at the same time I was like, Duke Parrington should also be arrested. I was so confused as to why the king wants her dead so badly. Kale got mad that she was poisoned, and Dorian and Kale knew something was wrong, but they didn't know what or how to act with it. And so after she beat Cain, he was so focused on Duke Parrington and Caltaine that Kale didn't see the look before Cain and the king, and the king was like, hey, bud, kill her. And then Kale saw Cain go for his sword, and then Kale killed Cain. And I felt really bad for him because he, like, was really affected by that, and that's completely understandable, being affected by your first kill. And my poor Kale, I just want to give him a hug. And so I guess Dorian and her were, like, kind of together. They had kissed a lot. and they seemed cute, but like I don't feel like they were like officially together. But after she won the championship and the king agreed to let her be his champion, they called it quits. More so Selena called it quits, but Dorian was like slick with the whole thing when in reality he was like flipping out on the inside because Dorian's a puppy dog. Yeah, that's about it. They broke up. That happened. And then it's explained that Selena tells Nehemia absolutely everything, and Nehemia tells Selena most things. They said not to keep secrets, and don't get me wrong, I love Nehemia, but I still feel like she's keeping secrets. Then again, maybe Selena's keeping secrets. I don't know. We're literally just told that she tells her everything. What is everything? What does Nehemia know that I don't? I'm a little bit jealous about it. And then the book is over. That's it. It was a wild ride. So overall, I really enjoyed the book. I don't think that it was my favorite book. Hopefully these guys are gonna get better. Side note, I already read them all. I'm just doing this before Empire of Storms comes out to have a record of all my thoughts. And yeah, they do get better, and I'm obsessed. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and you have a great day or night or whatever time it is, wherever you are. To read Gemina, which is the second book to, I moved it used to be over there, is the second book to Illuminate.